Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And for this evening, we're going to look at some stocks that I think that you guys should be looking at to really buy next week. Now, the first stock we're going to look at is called Ocugen. Okay, Ocugen. The ticker for that particular stock is OCGN. Okay, OCGN. So let me show you this stock currently, how it's performing. We're going to quickly go over the timeline of how much it's been making. In the past 5 years, it's been down 91%. In the past year, it's been up 2,793% the past 3 months, down around 23% there. 1 month, 31% the past week, 1.5. Now, with this particular stock, what we need to understand is that there's going to be a lot of things going on with these stocks that I'm giving you, because the Wall Street Bets Group is looking at these stocks and they're doing the Birdman hands. Now, the company was focused on developing cures for blindness disease, but the onset of the coronavirus pandemic has shifted the company's focus. Now, Ocugen stock investors now own a stake in a business that's competing with other COVID-19 vaccine makers. Now, if you place your bets on Ocugen stock at the beginning of December, you would have reaped 3,000 gains during this particular period. Now, the company's shares receive another catalyst after the company released promising data of its vaccine candidate in April. The company has been working endlessly to advance the development of COVID-19 vaccine candidate Coaximin, the partner at biotech. So there's been essentially some researchers really trying to get the stock off. So this is one of the stocks that are being targeted possibly next week by the Wall Street Bets Group. So you should definitely have this on your list to even just look at and follow, okay? Now, we're not going to really get into stock reviews, but I just want to kind of get some talking points here before we can go over a couple of things. Now, with that being said, I'm going to make sure I put my link in the chat room here in case anybody want to ask me any questions at all. So there's a link in the chat room that you guys can click and you can join with or without your video and you can ask me any question you like, okay? I'm not going to be paying too much to the chat room as far as reading people's comments, but nonetheless, if you have a question, any question at all, I'll answer it. Again, just click the link in the chat room with or without your video. Now we're going to move over to AMC. Now, a lot of people, I know we've been staying away from AMC because of the Wall Street Bets Group, and we're going to quickly go over the timeline. The past 5 years, AMC has been down 56%. The past year, they've been up 186%. The past 3 months, they've been up 112%. The past month, 28%. The past week, 30%. And then the past day, looks like they cancel each other out, about 0.31% of a return on that one. So when we're looking at this particular stock, ladies and gentlemen, there's some things. Now, from its first quarter, AMC reported 313 million in cash. And that's cash outflow for its operating activities. That's approximately 104 million burn per month. Now, the number may be huge, but that's already an improvement from the September 30th figure when the company was burning through an estimated 140 million per month. Now, with expansive vaccination campaigns in the U.S. and blockbuster movie titles set to be released in the coming month, you could probably bet on the company returning to its pre-pandemic levels soon. So again, this is one of those stocks that could be targeted by the Wall Street Bets Group. But again, if we're looking at the future profitability of a particular stock, then this can actually turn some high yields and some high gains. So there's some profits to be made with some of these stocks. And it's probably best to buy low here instead of waiting for the stock to actually boom. Let me look at one particular thing here because we know that it peaked, okay? We know that it peaked. Let's look at this very quickly. It peaked all the way up to $19.90 and currently is down to $12.80. So again, it's imperative that we look at these stocks And if we're following the trajectory of these stocks, they have a lot of volatility. They're going up and down, up and down, and up and down because they're being short squeezed. But that doesn't mean that you can't make any money. See, some of you are long-term investors and some of you are short-term investors. Now, being a short-term investor and you don't have a lot of capital, you don't have a business. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to incur a lot of taxes. Because when you're trading, whether you're buying or selling stocks, when you're selling stocks, you're incurring taxes. That's a transaction because they're counting that as profit, okay? So when you're receiving your 1099, either miscellaneous form of a 1099 or a DIV, your dividend form, those are your taxes of your trading throughout the year. So the more trades, the more taxes. So just think of it that way. So I tell you with a grain of salt, I think that long term, you're better off when it comes to your capital gains tax versus your short term, because again, those taxes can add up very, very pricey. Okay, let's move on to Nokia. Now, for the first 5 years, Nokia has been down 14%. The past year, Nokia has been up 41%. The past 3 months, 17%. The past month, 18%. The past week, down 5%. And then today, roughly around 2.76%, if I'm doing the math correctly. Now, when it comes to Nokia, this stock rallied after the Finnish telecoms company first quarter numbers, and then its revenue came in 3% higher year over year to 6.1 billion. On a constant currency basis, revenue grew 9%. Now, the retail trend and frenzy has done nothing to change Nokia's fundamentals, but it sure did reintroduce Nokia to the investing world. But yet again, and Nokia was not only an instrumental developer of the 5G wireless network standards. And see, that's a lot of things that I'm finding out. Well, I've known, but the more I dig into companies, you will start to see the subsidiaries. Like when I look at Prada, when I look at Versace, and I'm talking about glasses and shades, they're a subsidiary of a larger company. You just think, oh, it's Versace glasses. No, they're a subsidiary of another company. So a lot of times you can invest in the larger company and possibly make more profit than a subsidiary, and then vice versa. You just got to see where the innovation is going. You have to see the technology. You have to see a solid state company versus, well, if Google owns YouTube and YouTube had a stock, then I'm just going to invest in YouTube. Well, it may be more profitable for you to invest in Alphabet because Alphabet is the holding company for Google, and then Google owns YouTube and so on and so forth. It's such layers and a hierarchy of business that you have to understand in order to know, is this more profitable long-term or is this more profitable short-term? Because at the end of the day, don't forget your portfolio is going to be like an EKG meter. Beep, 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 and if you're trying to cash out, you're trying to scrape profits, you're trying to trim off the top, again, don't forget about the taxes, one, but two, you can do that, but you have to be looking at your investment portfolio damn near all day, because we saw how all those cryptocurrencies were essentially exploding. Like I was up $600 with Ethereum Classic, and I believe that I'm down. Let me just look very quickly. I believe that I'm down with Ethereum Classic. Where am I at? Yes, I am down with Ethereum Classic, $170. So think about that. Early last week, I was up $600 on Ethereum Classic because it exploded. Now, I could have went in and sold my Ethereum Classic, took my profit, waited till it took a dive, bought in again and bought more shares, okay? But I just held it because I don't want to keep going back in and incur those taxes. Very, very important. Believe me, taxes will eat away at your wealth. So a lot of you're going in, you buy low, you sell high, you buy low, sell high, and you're doing it with the same stock. It's really going to be a disadvantage to your portfolio later on when you start doing your taxes and you subtract the amount of taxes from the profit you gain from investment, you can see a huge difference in that. So be very, very cognizant of that, okay? So again, we're looking at, well, that was my portfolio. We are on Nokia. So we're looking at Nokia. And the other thing about Nokia is their management has maintained its full year financial forecast for revenue over 25 billion to around 26 billion, okay? So that's another one. Now, this next stock, okay, I've been talking about for quite some time. I think that it's going to do very, very well over time. But again, it's just one of those stocks you need to hold on to, okay? So let me look at this very quickly. Here we go. Sundown Growers. Now, for the past 5 years, they've been down almost 95%, okay? They came out August 1st of 2019. The past year, they've been up 52%. The past 3 months, they've been down 69% the past month, 25% the past week, 9.4%. And then the past day, they've been around roughly 1.8 something percent, okay? So when I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at Sundown Growers, like it or not, Sundown Growers remains a favorite name among retail traders. I mean, it's one of the hot penny stocks on Reddit. I mean, early in the year, as traders flocked to the stock, soon after reaching highs of $3.96 this year, Sundown Growers stock tumbled. The company had gone on a capital raising spree to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. It has also been a frequent name of the list of most active stocks in the market daily. Now, besides profit taking, a key reason for the stock decline is equity dilution. However, it seems that the worst is over in terms of the downside. After a series of capital fundraising, the company has a stronger cash buffer to fund its growth over the coming 1, 2, maybe 3 years, okay? So as we're looking at this particular stock. So let's just look at where it peaked here. Right here, as we can tell, it reached up to 295, but for the course of the term, let's see here, it was all the way up to $13 at one point, okay? It was always $13 when it released its IPO. Another peak, $11.50, but as you can tell, it's been going down. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Sundown Growers, it is the production of distribution of flower, pre-roll, and vapes, okay? Cannabis, medicinal cannabis, health and awareness. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been thinking about what cannabis stocks to invest in. Now, Sundown Growers right now, it used to be, again, worth $13 a share. Currently, this particular stock is under $1. It's 70 cents, okay? It's around 70 cents per share. As the U.S., from state to state, make recreational marijuana and medicinal marijuana, that is when a lot of these stocks are going to blow up. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this particular is a foreign stock. And when they start to do deals with American companies, because you know states like Washington, Oregon, Colorado, to name a few, and also my hometown, Washington, D.C., they have legalized recreational weed. Now, the state I currently live in, which is Texas, let me tell you, if Texas ever passed recreational legalized weed, the whole entire cannabis market is going to explode, because Texas is kind of like one of those red states, is like the leader in everything. If Texas do it, we're going to do it. So if Texas do it, Alabama's going to do it. Missouri is going to do it. Kansas is going to do it. Arkansas is going to do it. Louisiana is going to do it. You know, it's kind of like, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, that Texas is kind of like the capital of all the states below the Mason-Dixon line, or those states that run around, those states that run across the 30-36 line. You look that up in Missouri, they have a line that goes across Missouri. Let's see here. DD Farmers here, new to your channel and everything financial literacy. Well, DD Pharmacy, go ahead and be a subscriber. Most likely I'm here Monday through Friday giving financial information. I do a stock review of certain stocks Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. of course, cryptocurrency as well. But I do everything financial, even political. Okay, and people don't understand why I do political videos because it all has to do with money. At the end of the day, it all comes back to money. Okay, so let me hit my last stock here for you guys. Very, very popular stock. I remember I gave information on this particular stock prior to its IPO, during its IPO, and of course, I bought some shares. I think they have my history. We'll get into that. So when I'm looking at Powtar Technologies here, the past 5 years, which they haven't been out that long, they came out September 30th of last year. Now, the past year, at its high, $39 there, $39 at its highest, it was up 100%. The past 3 months, they've been down 33%. The past month, down 13.5%. The past week, up 4%. And then today, well, you know, Friday, I keep saying today, but Friday, they was essentially up 9.20 something percent. Okay. So when I think about Powtar, it has garnered attention in various subreddit groups lately. The company, believe it or not, is a developer of software and analytical tools for the defense industry and large corporation. Now, anytime you get in bed with the federal government, whether it be contracts that are stemming more than 3 years, those defense contracts, I mean, it's guaranteed money. You're getting paid maybe 25 to a third of the money up front and then midway. However, the federal government tiers their payments out to their subcontractors, but nonetheless, that is sustainability and stability within a company when you have governmental contracts. So that's something to look at very, very closely, okay? So the company, the company reported its first quarter earnings this week. From the report, the revenue came in at 49% higher year over year to 341 million, and its cash generation also improved dramatically. More importantly, the management expects revenue to increase 43% to 360 million in the second quarter. Even with the impressive earnings, Powtar stock falls to climb this week. Now, it's been failing, but for you investors, that's a very, very good thing. I mean, I was looking at one of the stock calls. You know, every quarter they have these earning calls. I just call them stock calls, where if you are an investor of that stock, you can actually, I mean, even if you're not an investor, you can kind of tune in and listen to the meeting that they're having. Now, during a conference call, the company had begun accepting Bitcoin. Here we go. Bitcoin is the gold standard of cryptocurrency, and it is now being introduced into traditional commodities, traditional precious metals, anything traditional investing. Bitcoin, you know, your cryptocurrency is now making their way into traditional stocks. And it says that Bitcoin has a form of payment from its customers. That was before Musk announced that Tesla has stopped accepting Bitcoin for its electric vehicles due to environmental reasons. Now, I know some of you, like myself, I'm kind of looking at Elon Musk with a side eye, because he didn't have to go on Saturday Night Live and do that to Dogecoin. He didn't have to do that. Just some pink lemonade. But he didn't have to go on there and do that to Dogecoin and also Bitcoin as well, because now he is tinkered by saying those things. And that's the thing. People are so finicky. And I am so glad he did it. Not because people lost money. So let me explain this very quickly. The only time you lose money is when you buy a stock or crypto at a particular price point and you sell it lower than what you bought it at. So let's take, for instance, you bought Bitcoin. You bought $100 worth of Bitcoin. And let's just say you had, I don't know, 10 Bitcoins, okay? You bought it, so you invested $100 and you bought 10 Bitcoins. If Bitcoin drops below the amount which you paid and then you sold your Bitcoin, then yes, you actually lost money. But if you kept it, the only thing for that particular stock, Bitcoin rather, you only lost value. Okay, you only lost value when you sell. Excuse me, you only lose value when you just hold it, and it will come back up. The same thing in reverse. when you make money is if you bought Bitcoin at $100, which equals 10 Bitcoins, and the Bitcoin went up to $200, and you made 100% on your profit. So what am I trying to say in very, very layman's terms? Ladies and gentlemen, when you see that your stocks are hurting, don't sell them. That's what I'm saying. Wait till your stock bounce back. Now, and where are we at here? I don't know what's going on with Dogecoin. Okay, let me go back. There we go. All right, let me show you my history very quickly. So as you can tell right here, I invested a certain amount of money of Dogecoin, and then right here I sold it at 42 cents. So I made a small profit. Okay, I made a $7 profit, but I didn't lose anything because my first initial investment of Dogecoin is when it was tinkering up. I mean, it was absolutely exploding, was skyrocketing. I made $1,500 in about 20 minutes. Then I went back in and thinking that it was going to reach to $1 because I'm a member of the Wall Street Bets. And I mean, I'm not one of those mega investors that squeeze in the stocks. No. But I'll just watch all their posts to see what's going on in the stock market and what stocks they're going to attack. And the reason why I say attack, when you short squeeze in stocks, purposely, you're attacking that stock. But nonetheless, when I was looking at the stock, I said, okay, they're trying to reach this stock at $1. And when I look at my my purchase order here, I purchased this around 65 cents, which is very, very high. This is very, very high to buy Dogecoin at because it dropped back down to 42 cents. So you have to be very, very cognizant of the trends that certain stocks have and certain stocks don't have. And I bought the stock too damn high. I absolutely did. So you have to buy things on a dip. And someone asked me a great question. They said, how do you know to buy a stock on a dip? When is the dip? So let me show you this very quickly. Buying a stock on the dip. Let me look at the 5 years. Let me do something right here. So when Dogecoin reached all the way up to $73 and it dipped, you see where it dipped here? You don't know there's going to reach all the way to 45, but as it started reaching up, that's when you should have bought because you notice that it got to one of the lowest points and then it started going up. So knowing me, it would have reached down to 42. When it started getting around 43 and 44 and 45, it's all in there. It's all in the line. When it started getting to 43, 44, okay, let me buy some because now it's on the uptick and you can still make a small profit even off of that because what it did, it reached all the way to 57 cents. Now, depending on the amount of shares you would have had, you probably would have came out with a couple of $1,000. Because if you'd have bought this at around 44 cents, you would have made about 13 cents on the dollar, depending on how many shares you would have bought. I mean, invest anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500. I mean, I can't really do the math off my head. That's why I got my old school calculator. But nonetheless, there's a room for you to make a small profit, if not a couple of $1,000, okay? So again, excuse me, when I look at Powtar, there is no indication that Powtar will follow suit from its previous dips. I mean, apart from that, Powtar has certainly been firing on all cylinders as it continues to forge new partnerships. Keyword, partnerships. That means contracts. That means business. That means revenue. That means profit. Because I mean, in addition, Powtar and Wrangler AG announced a renewed strategic partnership to provide the latter with software to accelerate its shift to a digital-first global media company. Again, that's shift to a digital-first global media company with all these developments. I think you really should consider investing in Powtar again. Now, I think I told you I was going to show you my history. Let me see if they popped up my history here. No, they don't. Oh, there it is. So I show you my history of buying, selling Powtar. So again, here you see in January, I bought a contract. Okay, I bought an option contract, January 28th. These are very, very small investment. Then I sold all of my shares. And I made really, really good profits. I sold all of my shares around $2,600. So again, there's money to be made in all stocks. And I can't really tell you when to get in, when to get out. I just know that you need to be investing. I'm always curious about NEO because I have a stake in NEO, as you can tell right here. At one point in time, I sold all my NEO. And look where I'm down. I'm actually down $237. Okay, well, let me show you my history of NEO. Now, this is my contract. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, they're not showing my recent, my past history. I used to have over 150 shares in NEO, and I sold all of them. I think about 15 grand I made on that particular transaction. Unfortunately, currently I'm down. But when I look at Powtar, we're back at Powtar. Yes. So the news is another important analytical tool. And I mean analytical because they really give detailed descriptions of why and why not you should invest and when. Okay. Let's see here. Good evening, Matthew Zank, and good evening, YouTube watcher. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a link in the chat room. If you need to ask a question, you can click that link and you can ask with or without your video. Okay, so if you have a question, please use that link and you can join with or without your video. Okay, now the news is a very important, intricate piece because a piece of news can come out and totally just explode or sink a stock. And I love reading the news. Powtar stages reversal falling, phenomenal earnings, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. What else do they have? That's all they have for that particular stock. Let's go forward. Let's see what NEO is talking about. There were some news stories on NEO. It says opinion, should you buy NEO stock? The company may be light on profits, but it's heavy on momentum. I believe that NEO is a buy. If that's one of your questions, NEO is definitely a buy and you should hold it long term. Again, NEO is the Tesla of China. There's no other comparison. NEO opens flagship store for lifestyle products on Alibaba's Tmall. Okay, when you start seeing them listing things on, and Alibaba is essentially the Amazon of China, then definitely they're expanding their business. So that gives you growth. And anytime you think growth, you have to think that profits are going to go up. So you really have to look at that. All right. It says NEO grabbed 23% shares of China's all-electric SUV market in April, ahead of Tesla 17%. Okay. Now, when we're looking at these things and you're trying to factor how you should be investing, I tell people, other than your ETF, your index, your precious metals, and your commodities and bonds, that's your foundational portfolio base. That's your foundation, right? A lot of you are just buying popular stocks. That's not being very intelligent about the way you're going to investing. Because if you're not a hedge fund investor, but there's terms that people use in the financial market of hedging their portfolios. And how do people hedge their portfolios of regular novice intermediate investors like yourself? This is how. You buy bonds, you buy index funds, you buy ETFs, and within that you'll have maybe some real estate REITs, and also precious metals. So that would be the foundation of your portfolio. Then when it comes to your individual investments, okay, I used to do a pie chart of, hey, 55% in traditional stocks, 25% in cryptocurrencies, yada, 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 because there's so many sectors for you to invest in. Think about it. You can invest in semiconductors, which are simply microchips. You can invest in robotics. You can invest in GPS. You can invest in satellites. You can invest in electric vehicles. You can invest in electrical power or gas power or oil or gold, platinum, silver, palladium. I mean, there's so many industries and sectors. You can invest in railroads. You can invest in food. You can invest in medicine. You can invest in a vaccine. You can invest in companies who are innovating certain sequences of medicines or medical devices. I mean, the possibilities of investments are humongous. And it be those offshoot stocks, okay? Those offshoot stocks that you have never heard of stock, and then all of a sudden it's on CNN Money, it's on Fox Business Channel, you see it on the New York Journal or New York Post or whatever, and all of a sudden this stock has rose 1,000%, and there was only 2 or 3 guys who invested $1,000, now they're millionaires. Man, those stocks are a gamble. You just don't know. Like Sundial Growers. Sundial Growers under what? Was it 70 cents right now? It's 70 cents right now when you really think about it, okay? And Sundial Growers, I believe, will essentially reach back up to its former glory. Right here, around, well, this is not the highest it's been. It's actually been up to $3. I want to say $3.90 at the highest. So what I like to do is this, and you guys can use this method as well. This is what I do. So if I want to do some quick research, I go Sundial Growers, right? They already have it up there. Sundial Growers, let's see here. Stock forecast, okay? Stock forecast, stock prediction. And so right in is at 71%, okay? Let's see, it's out of Calgary, Canada. And I'll just scroll down here and I'm just looking for, okay, let's see, see financing and money. And this is one of the things I just go to for some quick information. Now, this is not real research because what you're doing, you're taking other investors, you're taking other research investors for their word. I don't know what's going on here. Give me a second. Okay. All right. They somehow delisted that information. I don't know what's going on there. But in the description here, it says that 6 analysts, it says here that 6 analysts are offering a 12-month price forecast for Sundial Growers, have a median target of 72 cents, okay, with a high estimate of $1.44 and a low estimate of 45 cents. So when you look at that, it's already at its median target because the median target was 72 cents, is at 71 cents. But it has the propensity, it has the room and growth to go up to $1 and almost 50 cents. So if you buy now and it only reaches $1, you're still making 30 cents on $1. Again, it's about how much you invest, how much skin you have in the game, okay? All right, so I'm looking at John James and I'm looking at Chris Johnson. Guys, if you want to ask a question, tonight we're doing audio or video or both. You see that link right there in the chat room. You see that link. You click that link and you can join with or without your video, or you can ask questions. We're doing more interactive tonight. Tonight is Saturday night. Around 10:30, not quite 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. So if you want to ask those questions, you want me to ask those questions, then you can join, click that link with or without your video, and I'll answer your questions to the best of my abilities, okay? So anyway, as we're doing a stock forecast, I can do this for pretty much all of them. So let's just type in Nokia here because we went over Nokia earlier. Let's see what Nokia says right here. Now it says that 26 analysts, okay, have went in on Nokia. Now currently Nokia is $4.88. Let's look at it. $4.88 is where Nokia is. So it says that it has a medium target, a median, okay, a median target of $5.41 with a high estimate of $7.24 and a low estimate of $3.51. So when I'm looking at this stock, it's only $1 away from its low estimate. Even at its median estimate, at the current price point, you'd be roughly making around 70 cents per share. And again, I think Dogecoin really showed a lot of people that you can make great money in the penny stocks. And penny stocks, cryptos are different than penny stocks, traditional investments. Most likely, guys, you have to do really, really deep dive research when it comes to stocks that's under like $3 with the traditional stock market. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, it's a little different because the only true cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. All the other coins are what they call altcoins or stable coins. Okay, altcoins or stable coins. Even Ethereum, and Ethereum has an entire network of tokens, okay, that they still call altcoins, but there's tokens. And then under those tokens, you also have stable coins. So when I look at that, that is totally different. Those are like the subsidiaries of Ethereum. You know, I look at Ethereum Classic like the best of Ethereum, but it really isn't. Ethereum is still the best bet. I'm thinking about going over to, let me go over to Coinbase. I know we're switching gears here, but I think that we can absolutely learn something, okay? I'm going over to Coinbase very, very quickly, okay? Very, very quickly. My computer is acting slow tonight. Okay, I'm gonna look at my portfolio. I'm gonna share my screen here with you guys. All right. So here's some of my positions that I have here. Of course, Bitcoin, Stellar Lumens, Ethereum, Polygon Matic, Anchor, Ripple. That's pretty much I have. What is this for you? Okay. Ether Classic, which is Ethereum Classic, price surged more than 40% in less than 24 hours, and then it plunged though. Our Cardano, I have a stake in Cardano in another platform called Uphold. So the problem with cryptocurrencies are the many platforms that cryptocurrencies are on. That's one of my major issues with cryptocurrencies, because when I look at it, I have a Coinbase account, I have a Robinhood account, I have a WeBull account. I've been looking into other accounts like Kraken. Also, it looks like it's Kraken, but one of my reviewers say, hey man, you don't pronounce it like that. But nonetheless, you have to go into all these platforms because there's only 7 cryptocurrencies on Robinhood. There's only 7 cryptocurrencies on WeBull. I believe that Coinbase has anywhere between 30 and 50, and they're still adding different cryptocurrencies. Now, I believe Uphold has around 20 to 30. And I think one of the biggest networks with the most, I could be mistaken, you have Bittrex, you have Binance, and crypto.com. That's a big one that's coming out. They're doing a lot of advertising. They're spending a lot of money on marketing and advertising. So they better, let me just do a quick Google search for you guys. So if you guys are into cryptocurrencies, what cryptocurrency platform has the most cryptocurrencies listed? Okay, that's what we need to know. Okay, what crypto platform has the most coins? So there it is, Coinbase. Coinbase, there it is. It says best platform for Bitcoin buy. That's not the most though. Here we go. Coin payments have integrated with BitGo to make the most secure wallet. Okay, that's not answering our question. A vault feature has been added to protect and secure the money from hackers. Supports over 60 coins. Bitcoin, Litcoin, Neo. So what they're saying here is BitGo. I've heard of BitGo. And we're just learning here very quickly before we get off. That is not how you spell BitGo. We're looking at a BitGo. Let's see, an institutional digital asset platform. Okay, and it has cryptocurrencies that are being listed at the bottom. But see, here's the thing. You have to be careful. You have to be careful with these cryptocurrency platforms, you have to make sure they're legit. Because when cryptos first came out, a lot of people lost a lot of money from hackers and very fraudulent people popping up fake cryptocurrency platforms, okay? So a quick Google search, you can read a lot of information to make sure that this particular platform is true. Now, a lot of times we look at this as proof. Oh, they're on Forbes and CoinDesk and the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg. That's not solid information for you to go off of, okay? But what I like about this, it integrates into Kraken. That's the one I was talking about right here. The one that looks like Kraken. There's Bittrex on here, Coinbase Pro, and also the Coinbase custody. And as you look, it's popping in and out with all these different names, okay? Let's see what else they got here. You got Bitfinex. So again, I don't want to really bore you guys with that, but very, very important that you guys understand where you can actually go and buy all these cryptocurrencies, because I had to open up an Uphold account to buy Ripple, because Ripple is not listed on Robinhood and neither is it listed on Coinbase. So you have to go and find that particular Coinbase. Oh, last but not least, one of the most hottest cryptocurrencies out right now, which you guys probably are aware of, is called Shiba. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Coinbase. And I've been trying to look for a platform to invest in Shiba. And then when I try to open up a crypto.com account, they were telling me I'm out of region, and it's a US based platform. So I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea what's up with that. Okay. But if you want to buy, I think that you really should buy Shiba, because it's starting off like it did with Dogecoin. And if it gets anywhere close to Dogecoin, I'm talking about you guys can make not only thousands, but hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? Now, unfortunately, it's not listed on the Coinbase platform. It is not listed on the Coinbase platform. It shows you right here that it's not supported by Coinbase. Well, look where it is. So let me show you something very quickly. Over the past year, this particular crypto has been up over 1,000,000%. That's staggering. That's absolutely staggering. Okay. Its market capitalization is $6.1 billion. I mean, when I think about these cryptocurrencies, is this technology? There's not even a company. Like, they make it a company, they put a web page. But this thing, we used to invest in brick and mortar businesses. We don't do that no more. Everything is digitized. Like, most of you walk around with plastic in your pocket and you're not even thinking that's digital money. Most of you send money, receive money through Cash App and Venmo and PayPal. You have all these digital ways that we transfer money. So when I look at Shiba, I wish I could invest in this very easily on Coinbase, but Coinbase, man, they didn't even list Ripple. They delisted Ripple because Ripple was going through some litigation. It was going through probate. That's going through some court proceedings. So when I look at that, I'm like, they're killing my profit, because now I have to open up all these other different accounts, okay? So that's my time for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. This is Financial Literacy 101. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And I do a stock review every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I just give you unorthodox financial information. Again, this is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. See you soon.